Take two. Oh boy, don't you love it when tech issues become an issue? That's right, the pronunciation changes all up the place, just like without anyone even looking at it, the tree of pronunciation falls and produces a sound impossibly. Hey guys, let's do some AngelLoader stuff. I have to go through this whole thing again. What did I say? Let me look at my list here. Let's see, I moved these filters over here. Might make this one black to match that so it matches in with the bleak gray and black color schemes. This stuff might stand out too much. I'm not sure. Might put like a filter icon there just so you know what this is. What is this bar? I have no frickin' idea. Anyway, yeah, so that's one thing I've done. I fixed a very intermittent issue I could never find where the README would sometimes reset to 100% and I didn't know why. It wasn't like last time when it always did. It was like not last time when it mostly didn't, but sometimes did. I fixed that. Nobody cares. Great! Let's see. For Thief 3, the saves and screens are backed up and restored. So, let's see here. I mean, I'll just play this. Hopefully it doesn't crash. Okay, it looks good. Is this borderless window? Yes, it is properly recording. So, we got a new game. I don't even know what this is. It's by Judith. It's called Crystal Clear Conscience. No conscience. Couldn't even read it because it's fast. New save. Then we create a new save. See, there was none before. I mean, you already know how this works, but hey, just keep watching me even though I keep doing this. I don't take feedback from nobody. Uninstall and play it again. And if I'm not going to super embarrass myself, we should still have our save right back there. So no problem whatsoever. Now, of course, it doesn't have to do this if the saves are in the central location, which is a sneaky upgrade tweaker thing option, because then it doesn't ever get deleted when the fan mission does, so it doesn't have to back it up and restore. Nor will it, because the screenshots are global and it would require some silly parsing to figure it out, so yeah. But if they need backing up and restoring, they will be. So there you go. Speaking of the sneaky upgrade, I'm going to require it. You might have seen that in the README, because I require New Dark. So I figure I might as well require patch Thief 3 as well, because unpatched, I don't even know how to deal with it. And it probably is going to be a lot messier. And yeah, and the sneaky upgrade handles a lot of nice stuff for me, so I don't have to do any more nice stuff. I might require a particular version too, because they change in certain fundamental respects, but like, I don't know, I haven't quite looked into that fully, but that's kind of the case for that. So Thief 3 is basically in, aside from some, further checks that I have to do in case things go wrong. But if you set things up right, then it works perfectly at all times. What else have I got? The right-click menu, you notice it's sort of improved and divided into sections. Put the play and install up top, and the rating and down here. And then tasks is like, I should probably name that something better. That's like audio conversion tasks. Just think if I ever put any other tasks into here, but yagny, you ain't gonna need it. So that, and I removed the titles menu because last take I had a bit of a fright because I clicked the wrong thing here. I clicked Deceptive Perception. I should probably, when I'm sorting by like the and an, by ignoring them, I should probably like have an option to put it at the end with a comma. It's seriously trivial to do that. You seriously won't even believe how unbelievably trivial it is to do that. All I got to do is when I get the cell value needed to give it the string for the cell, all I do is just like chop the first article off if it exists and just like stick it on the end with a comma. Super easy. That's why I haven't done it. Awesome. So anyways, I clicked Deceptive Perception, and I'm just like, so, the alternate titles are here. I maybe didn't explain myself better. All the alternate titles are here, not just the original. And I'm just like, oh no, there's supposed to be another one. That's a bug. But no, that's Deceptive Perception 2. There's supposed to be another one. So it's still there, y'all. Right there. So you can kind of switch it here. I mean, it was convenient to switch it here, but I mean, it was just getting in the way of this more convenient stuff. So I figured if you really want to change the title, you'll probably be here anyway, and you can just go like that. So, it's cool. So that's what I did with the menu there. And for Thief 3, also, I guess I just... last take I properly did it, but I'm almost certain I just skimmed right past this without mentioning it because there's a surprise ruin. Ta-da! GLML parsed and displayed properly. You got your title, your subtitle, bold and differently sized. You got your bold and red stuff for the stuff supposed to be bold and red. GirLoader Pardon me for 1 second. This is the way GirLoader displays it. Basically the same. GirLoader also adds some stuff here, but like, I don't know. This is a GL language tag. I guess this version of GirLoader doesn't support it. Maybe it's 1.42 beta only. I just kind of stripped the tags and put the N because that's what FMCell does, so I figured, only one mission has this, I think, so whatever. But yeah, like, I don't know any of this stuff because I don't detect it, so like that doesn't go there. I don't put the picture there because sod dealing with pictures, honestly. But yeah, this isn't quite centered. It's sort of centered, even though it's under center tag, so I don't know why that is. But I basically display it more or less the same with the horizontal bars and the bold stuff. The line break spacing is a little different, but you know, it's basically how it's supposed to be displayed, more or less. So I'm quite happy with that. Wrote my own parser and everything. It was great. And it's fast. I mean, I don't know why you would think it wouldn't be fast. It's just the original version wasn't. Don't parse your markup with regex or Cthulhu comes to eat your pie. Not your face, just your pie. He's polite. Pie-lite, if you want. Okay. So, that is that. I'm quite proud of it. And also, I fixed the folder names being at the beginning of README options. They aren't there anymore, but they still work fine. So, I made this a bit longer and just like little tweaks like that. I made a web search. Fully configurable, still in the wrong place, with the full URL. And this is because future-proofing, just in case, like, for example, if I would have hard-coded this URL like this, when everyone switches to HTTPS, this may well not even work anymore, or some other different thing like that, or you just may want to change the base site that it searches. If you don't like evil, don't be Google, don't be. So, you know, or you want to search like google.com or something. So I just made the whole string changeable so that you know, even if someone doesn't want to recompile the source or anything like that in the future, they can always at least change this string and have it sort of work. And this title is just like a token that you put in there, and then the title of the FM is placed in there. And as you can see, it still works. There you go. So that's a little thing that I did. And speaking of readmes, you know what other kind of readme there is? Besides text. Sorry. Don't look at that if it's a spoiler. I didn't want to look at the loot list because it's a spoiler, but maybe the conversation is a spoiler as well. Unfortunate. I'll blank that out. Anyways, yes, text, GLML, RTF, and then there's another one, and it is HTML. Now, you may know that HTML files are able to sort of not be self-contained, if you will. They can be splayed out all over the place, referencing all kinds of other files, and you kind of need their folder structure fully extracted for them to like pull in their images properly and for their links to work. So what do you do when you want to support HTML files for a fan mission? Well, you could just assume that the HTML files are single files and all self-contained, and granted, most of them are for fan missions. And that's what other loaders do, I think. FMCell does that anyway. New Dark Loader, I can't remember. Honestly, I just don't remember. I think I checked it sometime, and I should have checked so I could fact check before this, but I'll just have to say, I don't know. The thing is, though, if you've got an installed FM, vis-a-vis, the whole thing is extracted. I'm probably using that wrong. Vis-a-vis. Love and wrongness. If the whole folder's extracted, I'm super tired and like I'm rambling and babbly, but, you know, hey. Then it's fine, because the whole folder structure is there. You just open the HTML file and everything's in place and it just works. But if you're trying to pull an HTML README from an archived FM in a zip file or whatever that is not installed, what do you do? Well, again, you can assume that it's just every README for itself and they're all self-contained files, and just pull out the individual files like I do with any other README. It works most of the time. But what if, like a nice game of chess, you got this whole structure with images and links to other language HTML files and all of this stuff? Well, you could extract the entire archive to a temp folder and then view the HTML README, and that would work. But that's really slow and potentially huge on disk. I mean, it takes the same amount of time as an install. It takes the same amount of space as an install. It basically is installing it, just not to the installed folder, but a temp folder instead. So you could do it that way, but it's super slow, and you'd have to have your cache be the entire thing, which is kind of silly. So the third thing you can do, which is what I'm doing, is I'm using the same technology, by which I mean technique, that FM Scanner uses, where I go into the zip file and I just pluck the entries that I want and extract them directly to RAM, not even hitting the disk, just pull them right out of the archive into memory. All the HTML files pulled into memory, scanned for the names of any other file in the archive. If the HTML file contains the name of any other file in the archive, that means that it links to it, and then I go and take that file and scan it to see if it links out anywhere, of course making sure not to scan images or binary files or huge files or anything that isn't likely to be text or markup, right? It's smart about it. And so once I've done that recursion, then I have all of the folder structure in place in memory, the files that I need in the folder structure of them. And then I just extract those files, just those files, nothing else, and then everything that is needed is there, and nothing that is not needed is not there. So let me demonstrate for you here. We have got, nice. A nice game of chess. Now, you can see, this is the cache folder for Nice Game of Chess. You'd see it's empty, so it's going to repopulate it when I click it. You see it takes a couple of seconds, but that's way faster than extracting the whole archive. I mean, let me show you, right? This is how long it takes to extract the whole thing, plus audio conversion, but it looks like there wasn't any of that. And it just took a couple of seconds to cache the thing. So, you'll notice that there's this View HTML README button. I'll get to that in a minute. It's slightly disappointing, but yeah. You see it pulled out just the files that it needed. All the HTML files, they link to each other. This is just another README. It's not related. And then some of them link to here, links to this CSS file, which itself links to this stuff. Some of them link to stuff in here. Only the stuff that is needed is extracted. It's super fast and super small on disk, and it works perfectly, as you can see. Oh, yeah, there's all your pictures and your different language links. This doesn't work. I guess I don't have the right fonts or something, but that's not my problem. Not my problem. So it works absolutely perfectly. You see it's pulling from the cache folder right there. And now, I would have liked to display the HTML README in here, but unfortunately, it's kind of not happening, because you could use the web browser control, which is the first thing you'd think, but unfortunately it sucks in so many ways. Well, basically oh, I'm hungry. It's like that episode of Thief 3 where I just started like blah, 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 blah. Don't say anyways too quickly. It's not good. It's not funny nor amusing. Anyways. That's how you say it. If you put a file, HTML file in there, it does indeed display it, but it displays it like it's IE6 or maybe even earlier. In other words, it doesn't do it correctly, literally at all. It displays it totally wrong and messed up. And I looked this up, and apparently some people are saying, oh, well, the web browser control rendering engine is IE4 literally. And I'm like, what? Probably not. And then other people are like, well, you can make it use the latest version that's installed on your machine, but you have to change a registry value. I'm like, really? You can't just set an option on it? But then what is the latest version on a user's machine? I mean, who even uses IE anymore? It's not even developed anymore. You got Edge now, right? I mean, and even if you weren't, I mean, you're probably using a non-Microsoft one anyway. But yeah, so it's totally unreliable. Even if I did manage to get it to display good-ish using IE 11 or whatever's on mine, I mean, I don't know if somebody else has got the right version or if it's going to work. It's unreliable and it might look messed up, and so I just don't want to do it because unless I can guarantee it'll work good. So another option would be to use a third-party embedded browser like Ceph, which is what I use for AutoVid. Only trouble with Ceph is it's huge! 134 megs! Just for the basic stuff with like nothing. And this is like me deleting everything that I could delete and still having it work. I mean, there's no way I'm putting 134 megs into my fan mission loader just so I can display HTML files from 5 fan missions. Ever. Well, maybe more than that, but you know. It's just, yeah, that's not happening. So, I mean, there's others, but they're mostly all based on Chrome. The .NET Gecko Firefox-based ones don't seem to be updated anymore, and like, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, browsers are just big, so I could try to convert the HTML to RTF, which is kind of what I'm doing with the GLML markup language, but I mean, RTF probably can't display anywhere close to what HTML can, or at least the rich text box can't, because this hack that I had to do to make it display a horizontal line, you don't even want to know. It's actually an image stretched out to infinity, because this box does not support Microsoft's own format with the drawing stuff that you're supposed to be able to draw. Doesn't do it. Whatever. So basically, I'm like, You know what? I'll just put a button and you can open it in your browser. Long-winded, and you already kind of realize that, but hey, you watch these to hear me talk boringly and make up a pie, and I'm all out of pie. So I have to make one up, so it's kind of recursive, stack overflow. Not the site, but the thing. Yep. Can't even say Stack Overflow anymore without people going, oh, Stack Overflow. People asking dumb questions and giving wrong answers. And I don't know. I found it useful. You just got to kind of be careful and research, double research your answers. Anyway, you view the HTML in the browser. It's not ideal, but it works. Okay, got it. Now, the very last thing that we have... OCD. The very last thing that we have is that, you know how each of these tabs has got the fan mission position... submission position saved. Well, now the filters are also saved per tab. So this is Thief 1 tab filter, and this one has no filter, and this one can have, like nothing in it at all. And it goes like that, and it saves on through the startup. Should do, or else I'm going to be rather embarrassed. Oh, yes, it's a single instance application. Oh, I did that, did I? Application. The truth finally comes out. Yes, so I thought this was going to be hard, but it turns out I architected my stuff well enough that I just kind of added the few things that needed to be added, and the rest of it just worked. It was an amazing, exhilarating feeling. But then I did do some cleanup. So that's what I've done now, and looking at the to-do, I sort of condensed it down. I mean, this stuff still needs to be done, but it's kind of detail-y. So... in order for more motivational power, I condensed it down here. The word is celebration. The word is celebrate. And I condensed it down here into basically a high-level overview of what I got to get done. So I got to import from the loaders. Got to scan FM on select like every other loader ever, I think. Because I still don't do that. Add ability to choose which things to scan for when you scan. So I'm thinking of maybe like... listing the readmes here, and you can like refresh the readmes in case some of them aren't there, like it's unlikely, and like maybe you can just refresh all of these individual options, or when you go scan all, it can give you like options for what you want to scan in case you want to replace some things but not others. So like that's one thing that I'm wanting to add feature wise. So basically I'm feature locked down. Like this is really the only stuff I'm willing to add. Anything else is going to have to wait, because like you got to feature lock in so that you can finish a thing. So robustness is just like error checking and logging, and is making sure it works for people other than me, essentially. Visual, finalize settings window, layout, and save the tab, and finish icons. Create icon for main app. That's going to be tough. Like, I don't even know. It's called AngelLoader, but a wing icon is kind of cheesy, and it doesn't have much to do with Thief, and a gear icon does, but it doesn't have much to do with angels. I should just call it GirLoader. It's now called GirLoader. Okay, so anyways, yes. GirLoader is kind of getting closer. So now I'm closing Gear. That was a joke. Also, this thing is here, mouse key hook. It's so that you can detect the mouse going over this control even when it's not there. Because it's surprisingly difficult to do that. Because Windows just does not want to let you detect your mouse anywhere. It'll detect it over certain controls. And if you have a pre-filter message, then it'll detect it over most controls, but not all of them. So I have to have this stupid low-level library. I actually know how to code it myself, but the library is like more complete, and I'd just be duplicating effort. So for now, I'm using it. Anyways, yes, it lets this thing still keep working. Bloop. So yes, that's it. Bye! Bye! Gotta have my voice crack. Squeaky bell must live on.